Hey everyone, this is Anna here. Let me make sure the chat is on. I have the results from my Cuerda Seca using the new oil, so I'm excited about that. I'm gonna just wait a little bit and see if anybody will join me. I just did a real small load. I used my small kiln because I was too excited about the Cuerda Seca mugs that I've been working on. And I did have some refires to do, reglaze refires. So I figured I would use the small kiln for the Cuerda Seca mugs and also put in some other pieces that I had. Let's see here. Oops. Yeah, I think I have chat on. So I'll go ahead and start. I'm seeing here, there's one more piece. Hold on just a sec. I need to grab one more piece. I just, hi Lori, good morning. I'm glad someone is here to join me in this kiln opening. It was a very small load I did, and just a few odd pieces that I had that I wanted to get done, but including this salt pig. This one was in one of my kiln unloads that I had, and I can't remember which one. I'll try to put the video that I had this one, on my description after the live. And I just did a separate video on this. So this lid, anyways, I refired this because I didn't like the glaze, but also this was the one that the lid didn't fit. It was like maybe standing about this much because this was a speckled brown clay and it has grog. So a lot of times the pieces that have grog, sometimes if you make the lid like a real tight fit, it won't fit after the firing. So anyways, I forgot that I had this grinding paste. And so first I sanded, using one of those flexible pads from Diamond Core Tools, and a lot of times they work really well, but for some reason after I would put in there, I couldn't rotate it. Like there was still like some spots that were grabbing. Anyways, I remember I had the grinding paste, and this would be a separate video that I did as a tip, and the grinding paste works like a champ. The minute I start rotating like this with the grinding paste, it just got like real smooth. So anyways, I'm just rambling now, but I'm so excited about this because I forgot I had that grinding paste, and it does work. It works really well, actually. So this was refired with Laguna Versa white because I wanted white, and it still shows the specks of the clay. So I'm happy with this salt pig. Another kind of odd piece that I made for me was a little planter, and this is on Iceman clay. So here I just carved some, just random carvings, just vertical, kind of wavy. And I used fairy rose inside with a sandstone just as a test, and I didn't like how the sandstone looked with fairy rose. But I liked outside. I used fairy rose up to about here, about an inch or so down, and then very lightly, one coat, and then 2 coats of soft red spectrum, and then a band on the bottom of honey flux, because I didn't want the soft red to run off the pot. So I put the honey flux to kind of stop from running. And it worked because I didn't have any glaze going past the honey flux. it got a little thick, you know, in some spots, but it didn't go past that. And then a band of cheetah, which is jungle gems. So I'm happy how this turned out, and you can still see the carving. And I think I'm gonna put some succulents or something in here. It's just for the studio. Then I had a refire, which I had a video that I did on how I refire. This is also from another kiln unload that I showed how I didn't like how, it might have been on the previous one that I had, or two past, you know, prior. But it was like, I think I used Robin Zag, but it turned out darker for some reason that I wanted. So I reglazed with honey flux, and it turned out, you know, how I had envisioned first, that I wanted these light colors, like a light green. Hi, Evelyn. And so here I just used honey flux up to here, and it did drip a little bit down. And you still see the spring green Laguna. But it goes from like a light blue to green, and then here it's more of a muted green color. So I show my tip on how I refire and what I put on the pot to refire. And have two more pieces that are not Cuerda Seca that I just wanted to review on this kiln unload. This is the frog that this video went a little viral on my Instagram account, that I show how I make this altered bowl. And he is a Amazon milk frog. If you Google, they have these real light, when they're young, they have this real light turquoise color with gray. And I tried to paint him with the same color combination that I saw in the picture, but he is cute. Let's see, the camera is trying to find here. I guess it's trying to find my face, and I carved this whole bowl, just kind of random carvings. And so I used Celso Orb, which is kind of like a green celadon. It would be almost exactly the same as Amico dark green, or Amico, what is it, forest, I think, green forest. Anyways, it's just a green celadon. And then at the edge, I use deep sea, Amico deep sea, with some seaweed. And the seaweed kind of make it drip through my carvings. And it goes from a blue to green color. And then I used blue guppy. Hey, hi sis. I used blue guppy, which is jungle gems, Mako jungle gems. And it gives this kind of like a gold spots in some areas. I don't know if you guys can see. Like here. And I painted also the bottom where I sign. So I'm happy with how this color combination turned out. I need to post on Instagram now because people are asking for the results of this one. Also, this is gonna be my next workshop. It's gonna be on altering clay. So this will be part of the workshop on how to make something like this, and also sculpt the frog, do some carvings. That will be part of the workshop. This one was a refire, and this is also going to be part of the workshop. So this is all altered from a bowl. This was a shallow bowl that I altered to make the leaves. But I refired because I had used Laguna Catalina Crackle, and it was very light. I think I used just a thin coat. And then I decided to paint the flowers using Bott's Amethyst, which turned out really nice. Before it was almost like a bluish color, and I wanted more color to the flowers. So because it had a blue already underneath, so I decided to go with the purple, and it worked out nicely. And then I used blue guppy on the leaves, and you can see how it shows like some spots. Anyways, this altered bowl or shallow bowl is actually a piece that I hang on the wall here. And this will be part of my workshop as well. I just wanted to show quickly what's coming up. So now for the Cuerda Seca, here is one of them. This is the Sun Conure, and I just used the picture to see the colors. So they have like a blue tail and green on the wings, and I decided to go with a darker background color, and I really like that, except here it turned out a little thin, but everywhere else I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, because it gives a lot of contrast if you use light colors for everything else, and then with the dark background, I think it looked really nice. And I used Mako Frosted Lemon on the handle and inside. So this load I fired to temperature 2185. Some of them had just a little bit of some drips, not drips, but it ran a little bit over the line. This one looked okay. The ones that I had close to the kiln elements ran a little bit past the line, which is sometimes that happens and you don't have control over, except that I could have fired a little lower, a little cooler, but then you run into the risk of your clay not being vitrified completely. So it's kind of like a give and take. You know, you don't know if you go lower, you run into the risk, or, you know, then the glaze won't move. Or is it better to go a little hotter and you just accept that because it's a vertical surface, sometimes it does go past the lines a little bit, and I'm fine with that. If it was a tile, that's what this technique is mostly used on tiles, then you won't have this problem because it's just a flat surface. But this one turned out pretty good. This is the Kingfisher, which I'm very happy with the colors. Supposed to be like, this is water. And then I use like a real blue, like a light blue, which is My Blue Heaven, for the sky color. And he caught a fish. And I like the colors on this one as well. And I added scene on the back as well. So this one is painted all the way around. Sometimes I do Cuerda Seca only in the front and I use a glaze combination. This time it took me longer because I went all the way around with the painting. So happy with that one. This one again is a dark background again. This one ran a little bit, maybe just a tiny bit in here. So also some colors of stroke and coat might run more than others. So for example, I had forgotten that this one, I created this color by combining like black or tuxedo, which is the black, with teal next, teal next time. Teal next time I had actually put on the bottle that it runs and I didn't see it. I forgot about it. So I used teal next time, which is teal, and that glaze I'm not gonna use that anymore on Cuerda Seca because it tends to move more than other colors for some reason. I don't know why. But anyways, here it didn't do as bad as another one that I had where it ran more. Anyways, this one. So it shows a lot of contrast, you see, with the dark background and everything else. Like it really stands out. That's the Panther Chameleon, and I used the orange. It's called Bots Chameleon Yellow, or Carnelian Yellow is the color I used inside, which kind of matches his color that he has it on his body. So I'm happy with that. Here's another really cute kingfisher. So these ones, they're actually pink, and they are from, I want to say Africa. I don't know. I just saw the picture and I loved it. And so I decided to, because they're so colorful. So I use pink, and he has the orange feet, orange beak. So he also caught a fish. Very similar to the other one, except the other one was a blue kingfisher and this one is the pink one. But he's very colorful. I love these birds because I love painting the real colorful ones. This one was the other, it's called Veiled Chameleon. Hi, Kathleen. So this was fun to paint. He's the one that I have it on one of my videos. And I did use that color that I was saying that not to use it because it does move, is the teal next time. I'm not gonna use that anymore. But anyways, he ran slightly right here. But that's okay because he's so colorful. It kind of blends in with the body the way they're supposed to be. So I'm not that worried about it. Anyways, all these were done with that new oil, and I really like that. And it's all painted all the way around. I think I used on this one Power Turquoise with maybe, I have to see, I can't remember now what other color I used on top of Power Turquoise, but that's what I used. And I think this is called Blue Isle is the background color I used on this one. But he's cute. Let's see. This is the frog, yeah. So the frog was the one that ran the most on some spots, but he's still cute. And I'm gonna do more. He was the first one that I did with Cuerda Seca. Before I had only done one that was real tiny, small, on a lily pad. He's much larger, and I do like how everything looks with the dark background. So it almost looks black, but it's actually the teal next time with black mixed with tuxedo, or is that called tuxedo, black tuxedo, something like that. This is the black one, stroke and coat. So let me see, he ran a little bit here over his leg. Can't tell that much, and the flower ran a little here too. And like I said, this one was also the closest one to the Kiln elements. And I believe I mentioned that when I was painting these on my tutorial. It showed the veins of these leaves the way I wanted to, because I was using the red or the coral over the real light lime green, I think was called, or limelight. And so it does show other colors if you use it over a light color. And that's what I wanted to show. Anyways, yeah, he's cute, even though he has a little bit of drips here and there, but maybe I'll discount a little bit the price on this one. I'll put this for sale, just all the Cuerda Seca mugs before all my sculptural mugs that are coming later, but I'll do these ones first. I'll have a shop update on these. One that I really like, which is not a mug, was this one. And this is the first time I use black, completely black as a background. But look at the contrast. I really like how this one turned out. So I think I'm gonna do more with black. What do you guys think? I usually do, oh, you love the frog, Kathleen. Yeah, I thought the dark really makes everything pop, and I was worried to use black, not knowing how it was gonna show, but it turns out that it looks really nice, the black. The name of my shop is Anasclayhouse.com. Is that what you were asking, Evelyn? So do you guys like the dark background? I think everything just pops compared to, I mean, I think it depends in what you're doing, right? Because like in comparison, this, I want it to be like water and then the sky. And then sometimes you know, I wanted to show like the tropical scene, almost like a nighttime, where the forest is dark, but everything is just pops, the colors, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll usually send an email whenever I do a shop restock. I send, if you subscribe on my website, I won't spam you, I promise. I don't have that many shops restocks during the year. So this one is just because I had these small restocks. So this will be the Cuerda Seca, and then the other one is gonna be all sculptural pieces. So I decided to kind of divide the two. But yeah, I think I'll be doing more of the dark background. I really like how that turned out. Also on this one, I used the newer glaze from Spectrum called Bougainvillea. And it's a nice pink. And I think it kind of matches this pink here, which is not exactly the same, but close. So anyways, yeah, so that was it from my Cuerda Seca. I do have one more piece which is gonna be included on this one. Let me see. This cute little vase here, that's also going to be the Cuerda Seca. It's gonna be on this restock, which I really like him too. It looks really rustic, the glaze I used, but it's glossy and it feels really nice. So I'm also announcing my Cuerda Seca workshop in May. So I'm gonna have two workshops. One is going to be, they're always on a weekend because I need 2 days. So it's gonna be on the 17th, I believe, of May. That might be the Saturday, 17th and 18th. And then the other one, the altering, like we're gonna be making stuff like this. The altering clay one is going to be May 31st and June 1st. So those are the two workshops coming up. And then I will have some more during the fall. It's just because during the summer, you know, I'm traveling, taking some vacations. So, but I do have these two coming up in May. And you'll be getting an email if you're interested, and that's it. Thank you everyone for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you soon next time. Bye-bye.